And we are back. Thank you so very much for staying with us. And in case you're just joining us, welcome to Kenya's Gold, where the focus of the program today is on the macadamia sector. And to shed more light on what is happening in this sector in terms of market dynamics, prices, and also what our farmers need to do to make sure that they are reaping benefits from this sector, we do have on set Mr. John Njenga, who is our agronomist. Also, we do have Mr. James Njeru, a farmer. And finally, on my far left, we do have Mr. Anthony Tuku, who is an expert in the macadamia sector. Once again, thank you so very much for making time to be with us today on the program. And I just want to start with Mr. Anthony. Unajua kitambo, a lot of farmers in central Kenya walienda kwa macadamia after mambo ya coffee ilienda vibaya. Ndio? Wakachana na hii kahawa kwa sababu hizo prices haziwafurahishi, wakaamua ni kwenda kwa macadamia. Now that we are seeing a shift, coffee is back to being the green gold. Watashikilia hii macadamia matena tutaiabandon turudi kwa kahawa. What do you feel about what is happening on the ground with coffee and macadamia?
Thank you so much. What we need to do as farmers in Kenya, we need to integrate our farming. We need to do intercropping so that we maximize on the little arable land that we have, and so that we remain constantly improving on the revenue from our farms.
Right.
Yes.
Kwa hivyo wasiachane na macadamia sasa warudi kwa kahawa kwa sababu kwa kahawa sasa kunakaa vizuri.
Yeah, we should actually work together.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. I'll come to you, Mr. James, mkulima wangu wa macadamia. Ningependa sana uniambie wewe ulianza ukulima wa macadamia mwaka upi, and also what pushed you there? Have you been intercropping it with coffee, ama you are entirely a macadamia farmer?
Thank you so much. I started farming macadamia, that was the year 2005, after I completed the Form 4 course. Sasa nijaribu kuona which side can I hustle. At that time the price was very high. Unfortunately, after planting, within a period of 2 to 3 years, 5 years, the price dropped drastically. I felt like I can give up. But anyhow, I didn't give up. I proceeded with my vision, and nowadays, let me say, I'm a step ahead.
Right. So in 2005, umesema bei ilikuwa nzuri sana. Ningependa kujua, ukisema nzuri, how much was it? How much were you getting per kilo at that time?
At that time, it was around 100 to 120.
Wakati kashuka, ikaenda
mpaka 30, 20.
Right.
Kitu kama hiyo.
But sasa tumeinuka tena.
Tumerudi sasa
130, 150.
Kileleni.
You're at the peak of it all.
At the peak of everything.
Right.
Yes.
Great. I'll come to you, our expert, Mr. John Njenga. The window for harvesting macadamia ilifunguliwa this year again after being closed in November 2024. It was reopened March 1st, 2025. Ningependa sana uzunguzi ule mkulima ambaye anatutizama pale nyumbani, the importance of adhering to the closure, and also are there repercussions being put in place? Ndo ule mkulima ambaye unajua saa zingine mfuko inaweza kuwa empty, uamue ai wacha tu niende nitoe. So ule mkulima ambaye atafanya kitu kama hiyo, do we have penalties for that, so that we make sure we are maintaining the standards of our macadamia in our country?
Thank you, Ginai. It is good to say that out of the losses that we occur in the macadamia sector, about 20% occur in the harvesting stage, because most of our farmers are not patient to wait for the macadamia to fall down so that they can be collected. So we find that most of them, they are harvesting when they are still unripe, and when they are going the processing, that consignment gets bad. So it's good for farmers to wait for the maturity of the macadamia. It is very easy to note when macadamia matures, because the macadamia nuts start falling down. So it is good, and when we are doing extension, we advise our farmers, let's wait for macadamia to mature. Right.
Are there any penalties for farmers who do not adhere to that, because of interest is making sure that we maintain the reputation of our macadamia even in the international market? Ule mkulima ambaye hatafuata hiyo sheria, do they get any sort of penalties?
When you are doing the export, there is something called tracement. a smell can be traced back where it came from. Therefore, when farmers harvest when they are unripe or they are immature, that contamination can be traced back and goes back to the farmer. So it is good to avoid all these sources. Because imagine a contaminant going all the way to export maybe to China or USA, then being diverted back to Kenya. It is a lot of fraud along that value chain. So it is good for farmers. They just wait. They may not be penalized, or they will be penalized, but the exporter or the one who does the export business may occur out of losses.
Right.
Thank you.
So at no point should a farmer panda kwa mti aanze kuvuna macadamia, lazima ianguke chini.
When it gets up, it is start falling down.
Right.
Yes.
Good. I'll come to you, Mr. James. Nataka uniambie kwa shamba yako umepanda variety gani? And also I know here we do have hybrid varieties na pia ile indigenous. Pengine utuoneshe gani ndo hybrid, gani ndo indigenous, and then Mr. Anthony will talk to us more on the benefits of going the hybrid way. Wewe kwako kwa shamba uko na gani?
Thank you so much. Mimi kwa shamba, I have these two varieties. This is hybrid. M1.
M1.
This is Muranga 20.
Muranga 20 and M1.
And M1. This is the indigenous one.
Right.
It's called the tetrafila.
Right.
This one is called the intrafora. When it is being propagated, you propagate the hybrid with the indigenous to get the best quality.
Right.
You see? The reason why we propagate, we need to get a best size. You see? Like this one is in tetrafila.
Right.
You propagate with the, this is indigenous, This is the seed of this.
So hii ni indigenous.
Indigenous. Kutoka hapa. Hii sasa ndio imeoteshwa
na indigenous.
Ikamea hii.
Alright.
You see? So, after kuotesha the indigenous, the tetra, I graft. I graft with the hybrid.
Right.
This is the hybrid. This is a boo one. Then I get the quality which I need.
Right. So tunaweza ona pia a nut in shell ya kutoka kwa hybrid, because hii tumeona hii ni ya indigenous. Show us any that is from the hybrid so that we see if we can tell a difference.
Maybe we break this one.
Or tuvunje hii. All right. So I'll come to you, Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Tumeona indigenous, tumeona hybrid. All right.
Yes.
Please talk to us about why it's very important to go the hybrid way. Now, kwa sababu bado kuna wale ambao they're growing the indigenous one. Wakati wa pricing, what is the difference in pricing? Ile 1 kg ya hybrid inaenda for how much? 1 kg ya indigenous inaenda for how much? Please make that very clear for us.
Thank you. It is highly advisable that farmers appreciate technology that has advanced over time, that we have reached time in time now that we no longer need to do indigenous macadamia farming, because high-yielding varieties in which are hybrid, they even mature faster, they bear faster than the ones we call tetraphilas. The tetraphilas in this case, we mean that these are indigenous plants. Note that we have two varieties of macadamia. We have Macadamia tetraphila and Integraphoria. And Integraphoria in this case, I mean that the ones which are hybrid, and we have one variety which is tetraphila, which is also grafted, which is a hybrid. We call it Kiabu 3. The Integraphorias which are grafted are Ebu 1, Muranga 20, and Kirinyaga 15.
Right. And
you can easily distinguish them from the tetraphilas, from the features. For Kiabu 3, they normally have only 2 laterals or 2 leaders. But Muranga 20 and the other ones which I have mentioned, the 3, they bear more laterals.
Right.
Meaning they are better spreaders.
Right. So we are advising our farmers to go the hybrid way.
They go for the hybrid way because it bears more crop. Yes.
Right. So when I come to you, Mr. John, very quickly before we take our break, can we really do away with the indigenous? Because at the end of the day, hata ukisikiza mkulima akikwambia amefanya grafting, ametumia the indigenous one to do the grafting. So do we need to have a balance, or can we really do away with the indigenous crops? How do we go about that?
We don't have to do away with the indigenous completely because we need them for the root stock.
Yes.
But when it comes to now to business, macadamia as a business, we need now to embrace the hybrids, according to the adaptation of where we are growing. The Moranga 20, the Kirinyaga 15,
and Kiambu 3,
and
Embu 1. Right. So what I'm getting from this conversation is our farmers for commercial businesses to enter the hybrid way, but also we cannot fully do away with the indigenous ones.
True. And
maybe you'll tell me that
yes.
when we come back from this break. Let's take our second break right now. We'll come back with a lot of information when it comes to macadamia farming. Also, our experts will be talking to us a lot more about some of the common mistakes that our farmers make in the farm. See you after this break.